It is me. I bet you guys are sick of seeing me twice a week at this point, but I have a couple of things I wanted to show you, so I thought I'd film a vlog today. Excuse the Poundland bag in the background. I miss Poundland. Firstly, I wanted to show you some things I ordered recently. They literally just turned up. I was going to film like an unboxing kind of video, but they came in like 1,000 different boxes, and I'm lazy. I can't be bothered to cover my address on every single box, so I put them all into one box to show you. So here is all of the stuff. I placed an order with reptilecentre.co.uk, I think. They are based in Northampton, and considering I'm from Northamptonshire, I've never been there. I will have to make a point of doing that at some point, but I placed an order. It came super quick. Some of these things are for Orbit. I thought I'd treat her to some new things, but most of the things in here is going to be for a new pet, which is so exciting. So I'll start with the biggest thing, which has been behind me. This is a new Exoterra background for the big Exoterra I have on the top of the rack. That has been empty for months, pretty much since I bought it, and I've just been using it for storage, and I thought I don't want to stare at it any longer, so I bought a new background for that, and here it is. So if you're wondering why I have an Exoterra that doesn't have the Exoterra background, I bought the Exoterra off a guy and he just didn't give it to me with a background, so I really wanted one, so that is the first thing. So I'll show you the next couple of things which are for Orbit. I got her another fake plant to go on the left hand side of her enclosure because I hate the way her enclosure looks. I do want to switch it up at some point, but it just looks very brown. I wanted to add a bit more colour and give her another fake plant, so I just picked up a really basic one. I think it's a... I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but I got that. So the next two things are just small little mealworm dishes. I do have bowls that I use with her calcium and her vitamin powder, but they're not very nice looking, so I thought I'd get two matching ones for when I'm dusting her feeder insects. I tend to put the powder in the bottom and kind of shake it up, so I got two of these. Okay, so the next couple of things is going to be for my new pet / new pets, and I just got a couple of things to go into the enclosure. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll already know about this, but I just wanted a few things from the website for the enclosure. The first thing is a live plant, which I'm not entirely sure how well I'm going to keep this alive. Looking at it now, I'm kind of scared to unwrap it because all of the soil is going to fall out, so I'll do that off camera. But I got a philodendron, I think. I asked my friends what plants do well in high humidity that I would be less likely to kill, and this was top of the list, so I picked one of these up, and I'm hoping it's pretty. I can't really tell right now because it's shoved in a bag, but we'll see that in a second. Speaking of humidity, I also picked up a hygrometer. I think that's how you say it. I've never had to say that word out loud before, but this monitors the humidity in the tank, and I needed one, so I picked one up. The last thing, and pretty much the main reason for my order, is this colony of springtails. Now, if you're not into reptiles or exotics, and you mostly watch me for rats, firstly, thank you for sitting through this section. I promise I'll show you the rats in a second, but these are basically something that acts as a cleanup crew to make bioactive enclosures and to eat any poo of the animal you're keeping and any waste of the animal you're keeping in that enclosure. So I picked up some of these. I was considering also getting some isopods, but there's a reason why I didn't pick them up. I will explain that in the video of the new pet I get, but for now we just have some springtails, and I've never had these before. I find them super fascinating. They are so tiny and kind of cute in a weird way. But yeah, I picked some of these up because this was the main reason I placed the order. And yeah, springtails. The last thing I also picked up is this half coconut hide, which is so cute. I wasn't too sure what size this was going to be, and I'm kind of tempted to use it with the mice, but I'm going to hold off and use this for its intended purpose in the enclosure, but this would also be really cute for mice too. Okay, so here is the plant. The soil is going absolutely everywhere, and I just vacuumed this morning, but it's a heartleaf philodendron if you were curious, and this is what it looks like. So yeah, that is everything in my order. That's kind of everything that I was waiting on to start setting up the enclosure, so I'm really impatient. I'm really excited. I do need to do a couple of other things today, but I'm really excited to start setting up the enclosure. Hello from the top of my reptile rack. I don't think I ever thought I'd be filming this high up. Can you see the rat cage in the background? I've just finished setting up the Exoterra for my future pet / pets. I am covered in soil. I can't wait to wash my hands. But I will put a picture of this up for my channel members. They probably will have already seen this. But I'm going to leave the actual enclosure tour for when I announce and kind of show you my new pet. So a little bit of a teaser. I'm not going to show you today, but I will show you in the future. But This has taken me about an hour to do and I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I've put all of the springtails in there, so now I'm just watching them crawl around. They're actually really interesting to watch. Oh, I'm so short. What are you doing? Why are you sat like that? You are so strange. You are so weird. Moose, that is adorable. Moose. What's your tail doing? Silly boy. Night night. Should we have a nap? Okay, so I'm taking Moose to the vets. As you can see, his fur's all puffed up and he's breathing quite quickly, bless him. He has been sneezing the past couple of days, but he's not had any of the symptoms until today, so we're taking him to the vets. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle the whole social distancing thing, but I think it'll be fine. We'll just see how he gets on. You ready, bud? Good boy. Lucy, good boy. I know, it's okay. I'm coming to the vets. He's a good boy. I'll get you some medicine. So I'm back from the vets with Moose, and honestly I don't feel great about the whole thing. The whole situation anyway is super weird. Given the virus at the moment, you have to stay in your car and then go and drop your animal in the middle of the car park, and then the vet comes and picks them up. And I find when I use local vets anyway, I feel like sometimes I have to kind of fight my case and fight what I think is wrong with them and kind of fight for the medication I think they need, which is hard because at a push sometimes you do have to use vets that are more local to you, especially given the current circumstances. And that's even harder when you're sat in your car kind of shouting the symptoms across a car park. So the whole situation was really weird anyway. If he doesn't get better within the next couple of days, week, I will take him to a vet that I trust, which is a good half an hour, 35 minutes drive from here. I'm just gonna have to make the drive if I have to, just to get him the treatment that he needs and the treatment I know is probably gonna help, and also just get a second opinion. I was trying my best to stay local, obviously, because we're not really supposed to be making unnecessary journeys and driving too far. When I'm filming this, we can now actually drive a bit further and there's no like time limit on how we drive, which is good, but I was trying to do the right thing by going to a local vet, which I have used in the past. I've used them for like simple things, but I think from now on I'm just gonna have to make the trip to go to the vet that I trust, even though it is like an hour round trip. I'd just rather go to them instead, I think. Also, I spoke about this on Twitter and there's divided opinions, which I don't really have a strong opinion about it. Personally, I don't mind spending money on him to get him what he needs, but they gave me the receipt after I paid over the phone when I got home, and I zoomed in on it and I had a closer look, and usually the consultation is about £18, £20-ish, and they charged me a special coronavirus consultation price, which was £45. Now, a lot of people, when I tweeted about this, were kind of outraged that they're bumping up their prices. One part of me understands because they are working through a pandemic. They are doing amazing work. I'm not discrediting that at all. But on the other hand, I also think a lot of people have lost their jobs because of coronavirus at the moment. And although you shouldn't have a pet if you can't afford the vet care, things are a lot different. People weren't expecting to lose their jobs at the moment. And that price difference is the difference between a family being able to go and do their weekly shop and being able to have their food and eat. So I don't know, it just left me feeling a bit icky about the situation that, one, I didn't get told when I booked the appointment that there was going to be an increase in fee, like almost a double fee for the consultation. And I just feel bad for anyone that's lost their job and then is having to pay that increased price without knowing. I don't know, it just left me feeling a bit gross after I left. But yeah, I'm not going to go on too much of a rant about that. It was just something I thought was worth mentioning. As I said on Twitter, I just wanted to mention it because if you're taking your pets to a vet, obviously they still need care. During the virus, some vets I know aren't seeing animals that aren't emergencies, but I just wanted to make you aware that if you're currently needing to go to the vet for whatever reason, just call them and check there's not an excessive charge on top of what they usually charge. Just in case you can't afford it or you're not expecting it, definitely call them ahead of time and check, because I definitely was not expecting that today. But yeah, that is pretty much all I wanted to update you on today. I will check back in with you tomorrow just to give you a bit of an update on how he's doing. Obviously not much is going to change today, but I will check back in with you tomorrow to give you an update. Please keep your fingers crossed for Moose that he makes a recovery. He is a little old man, but I'm really hoping he can get to his 3rd birthday without too many issues. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, Bubba? You feel poorly? Oh, big stretch. He's a good boy. Oh, the camera's not focusing. Good boy. I know. You wanna go sleep? I love you. Where's your popcorn? You don't want it? You must be feeling poorly. Yeah, look at your little bald patch. What are you thinking? Oh, he's on the move. Where are you going? What are you doing? You're supposed to be resting, mister. What are your intentions? Do you need help? Going for a little dig? I am not sure what he's trying to do right now. Lucy! He's found a late afternoon snack. What are you eating? A meal one? Good boy. At least you're eating something. I don't care what it is. So just an update, it looks like Moose has literally not moved, but he has been moving between different hammocks, and bless him, he's still managing to climb all the way to the top, which is really good. But he's not looking great, bless him. I have decided to take him to the vets. That's a bit further away, but I know we'll probably have a better chance of diagnosing him with what I think is wrong, and the thing that I think he has is something called congestive heart failure. So he does have a lot of the symptoms of CHF, and these can look quite similar to a respiratory infection or respiratory distress because he is breathing quite quick, bless him. I know, Moosey, we'll get you some help. So I have seen clips of other rats in a similar state to Moose, and honestly, not being blunt, but he does look like he's dying. He's not looking great. And I've seen clips of other rats in this state, and then they've had the medication, the fluid on their chest have moved, and they've had another month, 2 months, 3 months. I'm not hoping for anything massively prolonged. I just want to give him one last chance. I want to try to treat this before giving up. I think I owe him that, so I'm going to take him to this vet's. Fingers crossed they can give us some sort of medication that's actually going to help. But yeah, this is kind of like a last-ditch attempt to get some sort of diagnosis and try to treat him, because it's not fair to leave him in this state. I can't just leave him like this. And if it does go on for much longer without too much treatment, I will unfortunately have to make a very tough but necessary decision for him. So sorry, buddy, but we're going in the car again. Sorry, Moo Moo. So I thought this would be a good idea to attach a note onto his carrier to go into the vets with him, seeing as I can't go with him to explain his symptoms. Obviously I can tell them everything from the car, but I tend to get quite flustered and forget things, so I've written this note to go in with him too. So it just says, Moose, almost 3 years old, suspected congestive heart failure. Recent symptoms include weak wobbly back legs, sneezing, breathing fast and puffy fur, loss of appetite/weight, but still trying to eat, tires easily, sleeping more and less willing to be held, And then I've also written that the local vet has put him on 0.3 millilitres of Zithromax once daily for a suspected respiratory infection and the date he started that medication, just in case the two medications don't mix or he wants to switch it up or anything like that. I thought it would be a good idea to say what medication he's currently on to. Okay, we're back from the vets, and honestly that was such a better experience. I love those vets, I've used them for years, and I'm just going to continue using them rather than trying to go local. Obviously in an emergency I would go somewhere more local, but I'm just going to use them in the future just for reference, like I was saying earlier, for a month's worth of medication, which you can see right here, and the consultation was only £28 I think, compared to the £70 I paid at the other vets for just antibiotics. So definitely worth calling up, asking for prices, especially in the current circumstances. So I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird, I'm just emotionally drained at this point, but I got what I wanted from the vets. They've given me some medication. It was what I suspected. He does have congestive heart failure, and the vet also diagnosed him with a heart murmur, which is not a nice diagnosis to have. The prognosis is not great, but it is nice to know that he does have what I thought he has, and we now have some sort of answer and some treatment options. So as I said, the prognosis is not the best, and there is a couple of things you can do to treat it and try to slow down the process. I'm not obviously going to talk too much about this because if you suspect your rat has an issue with their heart, you do obviously need to take them to a vet yourself and get them looked at and get the right medication for your rats, but I can give you a couple of pointers to point you in the right direction, just in case you also suspect one of your rats has something wrong with their heart too. So I will also link a really good website to use if your rat has any health issues. Go on that website, check out the symptoms, the diagnosis and the treatment options. This is a website I swear by when it comes to checking out health issues with my rats. And this is the one, I'll link the one specifically for congestive heart failure. That's the one that I've been following the past couple of days. So we have come home with a couple of heart medications. The main one is a diuretic, and the one that I've come home with is called furosemide. You do want to ask for some sort of diuretic, and you can discuss with your vets which one to go for, but the one that Moose has got is called furosemide. So that's what's in this bottle here. I have had to label them so I don't mix them up, but they come in like a tablet form when you add water to make the solution, and he's already had his first doses of this one and this one. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop this video here because I just want to focus on giving him his treatment and spending as much quality time with him as possible over the next couple of days. The prognosis is not great. He is a very old rat, and I'm not too sure what the end result is going to be or how soon that's going to come, but the best place to know for an update is to check on my Twitter or my Instagram. Make sure you're following those just to see any updates. I probably won't make another video specifically dedicated to this. It just happened whilst I happened to be vlogging, but I will give you an update on all of my social media, and of course if anything drastic happens I will also update you on YouTube, but I probably won't make another video on this, but this is where I'm going to end it here just to focus on him as much as possible. So yeah, I know this vlog doesn't have the happiest end possible. Please keep Moose in your thoughts, but also prepare yourselves as well, because even though he is my rat, I do share him with you guys very often, and I know you guys love him too, so I feel like as much as he's my rat and I love him so much, he's also kind of all of your rats as well. So please just prepare yourself for what could inevitably end up happening in the next couple of days, but also just keep him in your thoughts too. So that is it for today's video, guys. Please make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!